I think Gen Muhoozi is demonstrating two things. First, that indeed the power in Uganda does not rest in institutions that govern Uganda. Because he's a member of UPDF. UPDF has no power over him. Every day in those tweets he's breaking the law, but the UPDF cannot check him. He's a senior advisor to the president, but the president cannot check him. The president also apologizes on his behalf. He cannot check him. So I think he's demonstrating that, all these institutions are useless. Secondly, I think what he's also trying to do is to attempt to create a new power base that may attract the attention, especially of young people, who have lost faith and interest in NRM and its leader. So he wants to create something that appears new, although it is exactly the same thing. So he's attempting to attract attention, especially of young people that had lost any faith in the government.
Do you see capacity in him of leading the nation?
Not from what he has done or said so far, and there isn't much that he has done, of course. So really I have nothing to go by. But you see, regardless of what my own views on his leadership qualities or absence of those in him, the critical thing is that he is perpetuating abuse of the Constitution, abuse of the laws, and the violation of rights. Now, those in themselves disqualify him from being somebody to be considered as a leader. But of course, he can, in the future, rehabilitate himself and so on, and present himself to the people of Uganda. But as it is now, I think he's really acting against the country and cannot at the same time aspire to lead the country he's acting against. So, first, if government is not a people's government, in other words, if government has not been raised from the people, you cannot talk about opposition. Opposition is supposed to be opposition to a government that has derived power from the population. In other words, the opposition should be a government in waiting, so that if people say, no, you are not doing well, get out now, they can bring in the other one who was waiting. So if people have no power to remove a government, the opposition is useless. It's not there. And this is why I've been telling you that it's a wrong term to talk about opposition and the government. The real terms is the people who are in captivity and their captors, those who captured the country and those who are captured. You see, there has been a lot of focus, wrongly in my view, on building institutions that can fight corruption. and we have a multiplicity of institutions. Those in the police, those in the IGG, those in the State House, those in Parliament, those in all kinds of places where there are anti-corruption institutions. It has not stopped corruption, in fact, just escalating on a daily basis. So much so that even the institutions they talk about of curbing corruption are themselves subject of investigation for corruption. And many people in those institutions have also been arrested and tried. And this is because we are missing the point that is fundamental. Accountability is demanded. The demand for accountability must come from the person who has power to seek it, to seek that accountability. And, you know, public funds, when we talk about public funds, so if it was a company, for example, a private company, the people who must demand accountability in the private company are shareholders. Shareholders hold the management accountable. Shareholders demand accountability from the board of directors and from the managers of the company. Now, the shareholders in the country for the public is the public. The citizens are the shareholders of Uganda. So if the shareholders have no power to demand accountability from the managers will continue to steal as they want. And that is the fundamental problem in our country, because since independence, the people of Uganda, who are supposed to be the shareholders, they have never raised anybody to be their manager. They have never appointed the manager. All people that have led Uganda were not brought by the shareholders. They were brought by force. In other words, the company was captured by people who came by force and captured the company, because they were not appointed by the shareholders.
Doctor, in short, do you agree with the fact, what they always say, that corruption was inherited from previous regimes?
Without doubt, what I'm telling you is that corruption is not a factor of regime. Corruption is a factor of power relations. In other words, if people whose money we are talking about as being stolen, if they have no power over those who manage their money, then that money will be abused, stolen, misused as those who manage it want. Because even if these people whose money is being stolen know that our money is being stolen, they have nothing to do. They are powerless. So in colonial time, we had no power over the colonial government. In independent Uganda, we have no power over the government. Because as I have said, no leader has ever been brought by the people of Uganda. No leader has ever been sacked by the people of Uganda. Say, you have not done well, get out. And they get out. Ugandans have never removed any leader. So they have no power to demand accountability. And that is what must happen for corruption to be checked. Institutions must derive their power, and they derive their power from who has power. So today's IGG, the source of power of the IGG is not the people, it's the president. And therefore it's the president who can seek accountability from the IGG, it's the president who seeks accountability from Parliament, not the other way around. And that is the fundamental problem that we must cure.
And my last question, Doctor, we've seen how...
Zitari kubasa kwemerera, teri kubasa kuchendera, esente zo barukwiba bakamabazo batini bushoborozi. Boku zirondora. N'abacango y'ibire bakamugiraho ubushoborozi bwo kureba ngo yatwarwa nko mushuma yabonerezwa undi jo anenda kwiba yatina. So esente zibari kwiba nezo abantu ba Uganda baburijo tubeine bushoborozi kuzigambaho nangwa no mukuzibiyaho tubeine bushoborozi aha sente nzinga heze barabiyeho ubushobozi obubano enda kubetegereza ngo tubawine na kwecho kureberaho ngo kwiha Uganda baho tariho mwebembeze nomwe uwabanya Uganda baragizire ngwiwe tutwachikwenda garukira bakamwihaho abanya Uganda tubakiyaho gamwebembeze nomwe abanya Uganda tubakayicarazaga ngo umwebembezi urukwenda kuzabwebembezi abarabemu babe nibo bamwimusya kuba umwebembezi bona biziro mbwebembezi baretwe mbundu kandi kubaza kurugaho batwarwe mbundu nabwo icyo abantu baburikiro tubabineho bushoborozi ningira ngo n'ikindi mukahuriraho inyimoko umwami Museveni nakugira ngo we tumukozo w'umuntu wenda hati wabo tari mukozo wanje ninkubuzanta okuwatwaze byanje. So ubwo nubwo mutawana uguremi isenguzi mu Uganda twaza gurugamo obushoborozi obwatuhambirweho abembundu obu bakozesa okwiba no kukozesa ku sente zitu tine kitukubasa kubagarukamo obushoborozi obuteko kubanza tubiyeho bugaruko mu bantu dera abantu babone kubuza no kureba esente zabo uko ziri kugenda abo baraho bushoborozi ngo babukozesa ababo baba bahereza babo batakaba bakama babo wabo president be president ryo muhereza wahereza kubiba base kubinga echo cyaba kitakabireho esente no bushuma bwenguzi no bushumanguzi tubyewe
Museveni azamanda kwija kwesimba president is coming back no mutabane na ariyo mufomo zo kwija kwe
yaba besimba yaba tesimba na kushobora ngo abantu tubine karuru umuntu tine bushoborozi tayine karuru akapapura ko bakwasa tuko karuru akona kaguma kari akapapura okakwise yaba tine bushoborozi akaruru no bushoborozi bo muntu ayine. So ubushoborozi bw'abantu babatakabugizire akaruru tukabugira amakuru nambwe mwinjira ngo bashisha na sente zitu ogumana batebekana sobururu nko bari kumanya ngo tubwine makuru bo kushisha sente z'abantu amageza gana kubahire no kurangirira nkamino ko yayerangirire ati nyondi yo mwebembezo kusiyo bundufa rero tukakoragana n'eco nchicho turukumanya iki tukoragana naco.
Dr. Nkubira mugaga tutegereze yo coming back kwesimba
na kushobora ngo akaruru abantu tubakaine ati nyesimbe bampeshye batine karuru
Dr. Chidi kwatwarwa mu karuru ko mwaka gwa 2020
bayiga we ne 2016 nicyo nabagambire nkabagira ntinyizire kubashaba karurimwe akwata mukaine nyizire kubashaba ngo tweyombeke mwamani ago kutunga karura ko tukarwanire twihe nicyo 2016 twabe turukombekera ebibinja by'abantu ebitwentweta power 10 kabiri byo kugira ngo tukoragane hamwe ubushoborozi bwo tubanze tubusikeyo rero tebekana se yanga tubone kugira akaruru ko buringaniza.
Dr. Kwatwarwa mu karuko mu mwaka wa 2021 tukareba abo ba opposition abo barajyango n'aba opposition ababere betabire mu karuko nk'akatatambure kurunje ubwati yaburazisi babageseri y'amahanga barazibira ba funders ubutafundinga ihanga ryite rya Uganda kandi ekihango tura depending on foreign donation urajambe cyo nkico cyarachikutwara nk'ihanga rya Uganda hamwe n'abanya-Uganda bariri.
Icyo kubaza atinde mugambirizo webibine bindi wano wenda kumanya intekateka yabo kibaro gukora heru no kuba kukitwaza ninjya kiba kikire kubahuza konka ekindi kubasa kugaruka mu kikwatirira n'ubundi kiwano ubuza no kugira ngo ihanga ryitu rishemerere kubisubwa abanya-Uganda tubaheru abaheru turi banyabuzare babo turi abantu bakushemerere kugira rembabazi beina abantu babo nabo barukoreberera so utakatekateka ngo esente za heru nizo ziritambira Uganda akwa no ya heru kuzireta nawe nijazo kuratire hine cyaro kuzenda tuyishemereye kutamisho agarukira yo bukuru abe yitwe bitwina nibyo bishemerere kutombeka Uganda aba bari kutwa sente tino kutukiza byo bugiga umbako twa sente bona tino kutukiza byo bugiga Japan noburwa buryo mu nyanja teine cyo bugiga cyona na kimwe kiri mu Japan ekebe ine cyonka n'amagezi nubwo bugiga bwabo tuyina abantu bahaba inamagezi kuyo kujya muturemero gabombo ikamo nabwo cyo mwanya gukoranzi ya heru ngo ngaba heru no baratambere tushemeye kuronda ibiratambira zona zigire wamwe nyine wire nyanda ugenda ningira ngo muza noyiri ningashi ekiro cyo kujabuzo kuzarwa kwa mukama witu Yesu Kristo ekiriyo kirihika ecyo mwako gugwe 2022 ikintu cyo cyukuje kuba uburyaho ecyo kukira yo guma mu magara g'abantu abakukira obwinjo mu Uganda abo butagira byo kuba wera mu magara gabo ibyo kurya ibyo kukozesa kushemererwa turukujaguza ekireki nabwo icyo nekiro cyayizoro mu bwire bugumbere nimbashya okusasira kwanje mwena abanya-Uganda ho nahi muri okureba ngo ni embere iturumu tiyo butosha konka nimba hamasiko ngo ruhango go tuyikiriza ruhango go tukujaguza kuzarwa kwe natureba kandi nembera yitu najimanya kandi ruhanga woburinganiza nabwo icyo uburinganiza ubutaroho buringaniza uburyo mu ihanga ryito yo kushanga bamwe bine binje munonga abantu batine kubeine nemberejo nayo nagireba no butari buringaniza ubo mu kugirira ka abandi byaka ryabo bakarohonda honda rikaburwa kurwa uburinganiza ubona bona abureba nabwo icyo tuzo mu kiro kikoreki tuyina masiko ngo mukama wito tuyikiriza atuyine twongere kumushaba kandi twongere no gukora kureba ngo buringaniza ubwo bwije mu ihanga ryito mwena nimbatengera ekiro kikuru cyo businge kandi cyo businguzi kandi cy'amasiko mukama witu abampera umugisha.